I'm Jonathan Sayer. I'm one of the writers on Play That Goes Wrong, and I also played Dennis. And I'm joined by Mitesh, who also plays
Dennis.
And we're here celebrating 11 years of the Play That Goes Wrong in the West End, having Elevenses. So we're going to ask 11 questions.
Oh.
So here we go.
Okay.
First question is, what was your first role, Mitesh, on stage? What was your first role ever?
Do you mean professionally or as a child?
Whatever you wish to disclose.
So as a child, we did Christmas Carol.
Really?
In school assembly.
I just want to say that's not been set up to promote Christmas Carol Goes Wrong at all.
Not that that's not coming this year.
No,
all.
but that's a beautiful segue.
Yeah, I was 7 years old. I was waiting back. First time going on stage. Waited backstage to go on just to play Ghost number 3, not one of the original ghosts, and I threw up because I was so nervous. And then, for some reason, I just went on anyway with vomit dribbling down my mouth.
Oh my god!
Said my line and thought, I want to do this.
What was your line?
I can't remember. That was a long time ago, but it was. Yeah, I just remember thinking, oh, I'm covered in sick, and this is the kind of career I want to do.
That's amazing. I was going to say that's amazing that you did that, and then that made you be like, well, I definitely want more of this.
Yeah, right? I feel terrible, but there's a light shining at me, and people are watching, and it's a good part being a ghost.
Well done.
Why wouldn't you do that?
Yeah, exactly, yeah.
What was yours?
My first role ever. So I did loads of touring musicals when I was a kid. So I was in a production of Oliver in the Manchester Palace Theatre. I played Nipper, who's like one of Fagin's boys, but like the really like traditionally played by a smaller actor who like mimics Fagin, and all the audience are like, oh. And before that, I also sat behind Joseph and did the
Oh yes,
la la any dream. I did that.
Yes.
So loads of touring musical
Donovan.
theatre. It wasn't. I can't remember who it was when I was a kid. Like I was, but then I did loads of touring musicals because I was really short as like a child. So when I was 11, 12, 13, even 13, dare I say, I was believable as a 7 or 8 year old.
Okay, so same thing on that. When I was 21, I played a 5-year-old on stage.
Wow. What was that in?
A Christmas show at the Hampstead. And I had to eat a load of potato croquettes.
Were you sick on yourself?
No,
again?
because I asked them to replace some of it with oranges, just so that I could not vomit potato. But
Wow.
that's the thing, when you're short on stage, you look a lot younger.
Very true. You've done lots of Shakespeare. So tell me about that, but like, do you prefer doing kind of comedies, or do you prefer living in the land of iambic pentameter?
Oh, I think you could do funny iambic,
Yes.
so get best of both worlds.
What Shakespeare's have we done?
Midsummer Night's Dream recently at the Barbican with the RSC.
That's cool. Kind of the original Play That Goes Wrong.
Yeah, exactly. I was one of the mechanicals.
That's cool.
Wearing a dress. I tend to wear a lot of dresses in a lot of shows.
So where did you say you did that?
Barbican.
Barbican. That's
Yes,
very
yes.
cool.
Very handy.
I asked a lot of sub questions then, so in a way we're on question 5.
But it's still
we're doing
overall
like a
one
count thing at
question.
the bottom.
One question overall.
We'll let
but with
the
sub.
powers that be
Yeah.
decide how many questions have been asked by this point.
But that was I've done quite a few. I played a drag queen in The Tempest once, which was quite fun. But I tend to veer on comedy. I think it's just because I've got a funny face. That's all.
You're very funny. You're very funny. I remember when we saw your audition, we were like, "That's very funny." Maybe we said you've got a funny face, but we were like, certainly very funny bones.
That's what it comes with. But that's my, But talking of comedy, do you prefer doing it or writing it?
Oh, it's a good question. I think I love writing because like I love like that's the bit that like I find really like all consuming. You know, like I'll take that to bed and wake up first thing in the morning, and like I love the puzzling of it and how you fit jokes together. And I love working with Henry and Henriette, and like it's just it's always just been a joy. So the writing gives me like loads of like probably like long term. Do you know what I mean? Like that's really really fun. But then probably there's nothing quite like doing a show for the first time.
Right.
I'm working with the whole Mischief team, and like so I'm so excited about Christmas Carol just because just like it's just good, like we're gonna open at the Lowry, and like just the thrill of opening a show is amazing, and like I do love it because obviously like I've been doing, we've done Play That Goes Wrong, we did like well over 1,000 shows. It's just so it's such a joy to do, and like the Mischief audiences are great. Like it's such I find it to be a really energizing experience. So I don't really know is the answer. Like I love both. It's really, really hard.
There's some question to that then. Do you sometimes get comedy stuff written by other people and question it as a writer?
No, because I think maybe you can go one of two ways. You can be like, oh, I'm a writer too, so I'll interrogate this, or you can just go quite like I did recently do something that was a different writer, and my thing was just trying to best do what had like just really imagine how they wanted it to be delivered, and just really delve into what it was. Yeah. And I'm generally, like you might have gathered this, but I'm generally quite an enthusiastic guy. So like it's more in my nature to just like a big part of Mischief's ethos, right, is to kind of say yes and to stuff, and be super committed, and so I think when I have done other people's stuff, like I think that's a base more of a really like the thing we've just done. It was a really amazing opportunity to learn. Yeah. Like as a performer, but also as a writer, and be like, oh, that's a fantastic way of looking at how you craft a joke and craft a character and all that kind of stuff.
So other comedies have helped you craft your writing as time's gone on?
In the past, yeah, I mean, like, you know, we're all huge like Monty Python fans. I love Samantha Pony. Like, I really love old school comedies like Chaplin, Buster Keaton, Laurel and Hardy, and there's loads of bits, right, in all the shows that are those big kind of like music hall vaudeville like sequences that then went into silent comedy, and we've loved kind of putting them back on stage where you get like a laugh and a gasp. And then what else, like, you know, like loads of stand-up. I consume a lot of stand-up, it must be said. And then like me, Henry and Henry all love the sitcom Frasier. Amazing. Like it was weirdly a real bonding moment as writers. Yeah. That when we were all living together, and I think it was Henry Lewis got out like his, you know, full box set of Frasier, and Shields was like, oh my god, I've got a full box set of Frasier, and I was like, I've got a full box set of Frasier, and we just watched it every morning. Wow. And just really enjoyed laughing at it, but also like talking about the craft. Like some of the episodes are so good, so like talking about the craft of it and how it's made and how it balances, like, you know, those characters so well, but they also have really like some of the episodes of Frasier are really good farces, right, as well. Like so yeah, take lots of stuff from all kinds of different practitioners.
Would you say that's been a big influence, like, the three of you's writing from Frasier?
I think so. I don't know. We've never really like delved into like exactly what. Like, we like similar stuff. I think it's more that we find similar stuff funny. Yeah. And of course, like what you watch and the things that you take in, like, have a massive. I don't know how, but you know exactly in what way, but they massively like have a bearing on, you know, how you write and how you think how you think things should be structured. I'd say that's the thing as well, that the three of us as writers have a really similar view on like how you structure a story and how you put it together and how you build the comedy and what you want it to do and stuff. And I'm guessing that comes from our diet of what we've watched.
Oh, it has to be. Well, I mean, yeah, sure. I'm just putting words at you now.
No, I think so. How would you describe Dennis? But also you hit 100 shows tonight. Yes. So how have you learned anything new about Dennis as it's gone on?
For me, who Dennis is somebody who's obviously never done theatre before, first time on stage, everything's going wrong, so he's in a permanent state of like panic and terrifiedness. Is that even a word? So that's like the constant. That's been the base of where I've gone from. But then what I've realised over the last few months of shows, is interesting finding out what he's thinking when he's on stage, but nothing's going on.
Do you have like an internal monologue as Dennis while you're acting? Yeah. So what's he saying to him?
So some of the things I might be like, if I'm staring out at the audience, I'm thinking, why is that person coming?
Yeah,
Why
that's
are
a
they
good.
here?
Yeah.
Why have they turned up? And why have they turned up? Who told them that I was doing this? Do they know my mum? Like, why are
So like you're like, oh my god, there's Sue. Why Sue watching?
Yeah.
So you pretend that you know them.
Yeah.
Oh, that's so interesting.
Yeah, just to help with the fear a little bit more, kind of going, okay, well, why is that? And I'll pick somebody in like further back or something, or somebody at the top, and just hang on, wait, nobody told me that the circle was going to be open.
That's that's nice. And I think that you do so well watching it is like, your Dennis is like looks very surprised.
Yeah.
By like as if he's discovering like where all the props were for the first time as it goes on. So that makes loads of sense.
Yeah, because I think in my head I kind of go, he's been given the basic rehearsal room stuff.
Yeah.
And that's what he assumes is what is when it comes out on stage. But then it's a little bit more different than what he actually
Yeah,
is.
that's
So it kind of goes with that. But also when he's not doing anything, I think he kind of, in my head, he really thinks, he looks up to Robert and to Chris, and kind of, when he's not saying anything, kind of watching them and going, they're amazing.
I need to do
learn from them. I need to do that. And yeah, that's been interesting.
That's
kind of
really cool.
adding to that.
I got taught this thing. It's a Ken Campbell trick, which is to find the audience member. This could either be like you personally or your character, but I used to find the person that liked Dennis the most in the audience, so the person who looked like, oh, poor guy, and like sympathised with me, and the person who was really just like, that guy's an idiot, the person who hated me the most. And as the show goes on, you try and join them.
Yes, okay.
And I used to find that a really fun game of kind of like keeping it with the audience and staying present with the audience. But that's a really cool one, like having a backstory of like, oh my god, why is that person there?
And it's always a different scene, and it's always a different person.
Yeah.
And that always be a different name.
Oh wow, so every scene there's a new person, like, oh my god, there's that
sort
person.
of that person.
Oh no,
And
they're there
like,
too.
Yeah.
So they're all there witnessing your
And
demise.
I've been told it's 50 people, why are there 300 people here?
That's really
Like,
fun.
What? Nobody told me about this, and that immediately puts me like, and let's go and see what happens.
Yeah, that's
Like
great.
Writing of that wave. But so you've been doing it for a while though, Dennis in different guises.
Definitely, Dennis in different guises for like, it's not far from 15 years now.
Oh my god.
Like not far. Like I think I was 22 when I first played Dennis. I'm 37 next Monday. So yeah, a fair bit of time now.
How has he changed for you?
How has he changed?
Or do you think he has? Like, has there been like confidence that's grown with him?
No, I think he's gone backwards. He's totally regressed. Like both as a performer, but also as a man. I think that like, because if you follow it right, Play That Goes Wrong, he's reasonably competent in the sense that he's got all of his lines. He just doesn't know, how to say facade. He forgets how to say morose. And then Peter Pan suddenly, his headphones, doesn't know a single word without it being said to him. And then when you watch some of the TV, he's playing objects, and he's still, he's getting the fundamental noise that a fax machine makes incorrect. So like, I think that Play That Goes Wrong was so bruising to him as a performer that he's just got, like the yips.
It's dented.
He's just he's just getting smaller and smaller, which is a fun thing as a writer then, because then when you sit down to write the next thing, you can be like, well, how has he gone backwards from that point? How can it be fundamentally more like difficult, and like what is the new thing that he's forgotten how to do? And then I think like my character in always used to be so we used to do clown interviews, and like the thing that we learnt from that was just like Dennis he's just there to make friends.
Yeah.
So he's not really that interested in acting. It was just that like the football society was closed, the debating society wouldn't have him. The only place there was a bit of vacancy was the drama club. So in he came, and that's his way of making friends. And every mistake he makes moves him further away from Robert or Sandra or someone saying, "Oh, do you want to come for a drink afterwards, Dennis?" Which again means he's even smaller and even smaller, and it's he's falling into a pit of despair, and he just doesn't he's got no resilience, like none of it. I suppose he has resilience in the sense that like he's coming back to do a new show, he's doing another Cornley show, like but then he's got no resilience in the sense that like he doesn't recover from any of the mistakes and any of the trauma. He just gets worse and worse and worse until in Christmas Carol. Well, I don't want to give it away, but he's at a point where he literally he can't go physically anywhere without having like an intricate system to like help him remember his blocking and stuff.
Because I'm going to ask you about going to say how has it gone back for Christmas Carol?
Well, I don't want to give away too many
No.
jokes. I don't want to give too many jokes. But there's new methods that have been conceived for Dennis to both come into contact with his lines, but also know where he needs to be stood.
Is there any of you personally that you put into Dennis?
Oh, there's so much. Yeah, there's regrettably there's a lot. More. There's more of me than I'd like there to be, to be honest. Like particularly like me when I was like 22. But yeah, you do these clown interviews, so you come in and someone just says, "What are you doing here?" And you go, "Oh, right," and it's all about putting you on the spot, both in character, but it happens so quick. That it is you.
Right,
it is just how how Mitesh responds under a lot of pressure.
100%.
And that's how you find your clown. So a lot of Dennis is just how I respond under pressure.
I think Dennis for me was always a case of this is who I am as a school kid.
Yeah.
Just go back to who I was
Yeah.
as a child and kind of going, not with all the bullies, but also that kind of like making friends, going, where do you do? Because I don't do sports, I don't do the PE stuff. I mean, I do the gym now, but that's like trying to find the way in.
Yeah.
And so that's always that vulnerability has always stayed with me. So it's like kind of easy to tap into a little bit.
Yeah, well, it is a vulnerable character to play. It's a thing. It's an interesting one as well because we always talk about like how all of the character, like from as an actor, right? From a technical, I don't know if this is very dry or not. Maybe it's interesting, maybe it's not. But like, from when you're performing, if you're performing in a comedy, you as an actor, right, you've got to be technically on it in regards to hitting beats, in regards to just the technicals that are required in the show. Yeah. But in these shows as well, as an actor and as a character, you need to be able to be vulnerable enough and relaxed enough, I suppose, to just let people laugh at you, because it's not you going out doing a zingy one-liner and being like, "Oh my god, that guy's so funny." It's inviting people to laugh at you, right? So that means you've got to like do the, you've got to do the, if you need me, I'll be in my quarters exits, and you've just got to let it hang there as the audience laugh at you, and you've just got, and like your instinct as a human is to kind of move away from that because it's unpleasant to be laughed at like that. But actually what you've got to do is just sit and allow it to dent your soul again as the character and keep doing that and like stay and sit in the uncomfortable moment and sit 100%. In the bit where people are laughing.
It's that kind of like slightly, what's great about the show is that the laughs come in because you're slightly sharing them with the audience in the sense that once they're in, then they're part of it. But also for me, you're kind of going, why are they laughing?
Yeah,
like this is meant.
Well,
to be
because that's the other thing. Dennis, I think, is quite scared by the laughter because he's just like, oh, that.
Why are they laughing?
And I think, that's the opposite. And as well, I think probably out of all the Conley gang, he's the one who's least used to maybe people laughing at what he says. 100%. Because people are usually interpreting what he says as just like, what?
Yeah.
Is that guy for real? Oh my god, they're quite annoyed with him. They're just like, oh my god, you don't know anything. So like, to suddenly have people laughing, I think for him is really disconcerting in the way that like for Max and for Annie, it's kind of brilliant that they're just having a good time. And do you have a favourite bit of the show to do? Do you have like a favourite line that you love to land, or just a favourite bit that you love watching or being part of?
I mean, obviously, like everyone's going to say that the bit when the clock shows things. That entire
that's a good bit,
because I think for me it just goes, this is now another level.
And it's a nice thing to have in your back pocket. I get to do this, and it's ramps the show up. There's 100% ridiculousness. And
really, really goes just that extra mile. I mean, I love watching the others on stage, like which is when I just stepping back and watching kind of how they're doing because it's so brilliant.
Yeah.
Look, with all the flat falls and all of that, and I didn't realise. So I think maybe I don't think I'm the first one, but screaming when the matches happen.
Yeah.
Like I enjoyed doing that because I personally can be quite physical, but for me, my interpretation of Dennis, I don't think he would be as flamboyantly physical as some of the others have been.
Yeah, I see what you mean. Yeah.
Sense. So I keep that kind of screaming stuff I enjoy doing. What's it for you that you enjoyed?
I love saying, "If you need me, I'll be in my quarters. Exits." I've always just loved doing that, and like the original thing for my voice for the characters, do you know who Colin Wilkinson is?
No.
He plays, so he's the original Jean Valjean. My prayer. So that's where my Dennis voice, my Perkins voice came from. If you need me, I'll be in my quarter. and like it's not quite as big as that, but you know, because particularly when I was like 22, I was so ludicrously young looking, and like my voice was so kind of tenor, like very open, kind of squeaky voice. And so I tried to find what would Dennis do to try and sound like a spooky but suspicious butler, and that was the answer. Like I tried to just do it all like Colm Wilkinson singing "Bring Him Home." And then
so I tried that tonight.
So that everyone
like, what's it done?
What's Mitesh gone?
Oh, Jonathan Sarah told me.
That's how I did like the age thing, and you know all the stuff that you got taught at drama school. Like there was all the stuff about like if you're playing old as a young person. Put stones in your shoes.
Yeah.
So I play him like he's had like loads of rehearsal with stones in his shoes, and they've put like elastic bands around his ankles so all his bottom of his legs hurt, and I can do it in that voice. So that's kind of where.
Amazing.
But then equally, if you asked all the guys, they'd say Joe just does the same voice. So it's not as well thought out as he's suggesting at all.
The exits bit.
Mm-hmm.
When I did it once a few weeks ago, there was this group of, I'd say, Girl Scouts or Brownies in the front row. I just remember going, oh my god, did that. If you need me, I'll be in my quarters. Exits. And then this girl in the front row just whispered, going, "You're supposed to leave."
Oh my god, that's great. I love, like, there's a good question. Have you had any moments like that, like just like really good, oh my god, I don't know if that will ever happen again?
Oh, that was definitely the first. And that I just remember thinking, don't laugh, but also internally going, oh my god, they're so invested in the story, and the fact that they know. She must have been about 7 or 8, and she was just like, I was trying to whisper so that I would know.
That's so funny.
Just be like, you're supposed to leave.
It's nice that the audience feel that means that the fourth wall has dissolved enough.
Yeah.
That they feel like
and
they
so
can just have a dialogue with you. Yeah,
yeah.
That's great.
Especially from the younger kids that come and see it. They are really, and like, they love it.
Yeah.
Love it. What's been your favourite version of it?
Of one of those kind of moments. Oh gosh, there's so many now. I suppose a moment that happened to me personally, when we were doing the show at the Old Red Lion, like right at the start. So the audience were in like it's like a little half thrusty kind of L shape, and our set was it's very near the audience, who were in the middle of the loop, and there's a guy on the edge of the kind of the far side of the audience bank, and he's like really like looking just really uncomfortable, and he had been all the way through, and then like you get to halfway through the loop, and he obviously just really needed the toilet, so he just decides, I can't wait anymore. And obviously the problem for him is that his only way out is to walk right across the middle of the stage. So he gets up and he thinks, well, I don't want to walk right across the middle of the stage, I'll see what's back there. He walks back there, but all that does is put you on the stage behind the set where the window is. Right, so he walks round, like he's like, we see him like behind the window, obviously asking like, where is the toilet, like being like. And then he gets to that and realises that actually you can't get out there because there's a brick wall, so he goes back round the window and in the end walks across us mid-loop, literally like right through and out. And we were like, God. And that was just like, that's wild. And there were so many just funny bits in that. Like there was so many bits, and then he left and he got a round of applause, I think, because it was just so disarming. Anyway, he didn't come back. This is the bit that I like, because I think he's too embarrassed.
Yeah.
Years later, I'm in a Starbucks with Henry and Kenny, our producer, and there's a group of police officers in the corner, and they keep looking at me. And then eventually, one of them kind of beckons me over, and I'm like, me?
Oh my god.
Me, officer?
Yeah.
And I go over, and I'm like, yeah, hello. Do you want me? Is everything okay? And he goes, yeah. Were you in a play like years ago in a pub? And I was like, right. And he was like, where it was like a murder mystery, and it was all going wrong. I think you were like a butler. And I was like, yes. And he was like, I owe you the biggest apology. I went to see that show and I drank a couple too many pints before it started, and I really needed the loo, and I'm pretty sure I completely like upended the entire performance to the point where I didn't come back because I was so embarrassed. And he was like, I've always wanted to apologise to like the people doing that because I was worried that I'd spoiled your show. And like what? And it was literally like it was like 4 years later or something.
What did you say to him?
I said you did ruin the show, but thankfully it's still going. So we got over it. And I kind of said, you know, you gave me a really really good story that even 11 years later, I'm still dining off. Yeah,
I just love the idea of someone just walking behind during the loop.
Oh, it was great.
Just
It was great. And I remember like Nance, I think, was like, go round.
So what do you think would be Dennis's favourite theatre show if you had to go and see something?
I think that Dennis's favourite theatre show. I've been seeing like a lot of kids shows because I've got a 2-year-old, and I think it would be something like that. I think it would be, you know, Peppa Pig, or something really soothing. You know, I think just something with soothing songs about like, you know, feel better about yourself. You can do it.
Okay.
It kind of feels like being hugged.
Yeah.
I think he'd like that kind of stuff. I think that's where Dennis is at. I think it's kind of kids theatre.
Okay.
And he's like, oh wow, yeah, you know, that was a real thinker.
I'm going to agree with you, but I'm going to add to that as well. I'm going to say that I think in the context of Play Goes Wrong, I think Chris has sent him to go and watch Mousetrap.
Yeah, he's definitely done that. He's definitely done that.
So he's done that as a research thing.
I think a lot of that goes over his head.
Completely.
You know? He's just like
completely. Yeah, but I think I agree. Yeah, I'm going to say the same thing. Kids and Mousetrap.
Kids and Mousetrap. There you go. Brilliant. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Having some Elevenses.
Here's your 11s.
Here's the final question. What is Elevenses?
11s is when you eat 11 things at 11 o'clock.
Is it true? It could be, for all I know.